So calcaneus or calcaneum is the largest tarsal bone. It's the first largest tarsal bone, and second comes our talus. You can see here in this diagram clearly. So it forms mainly this heel prominence. You can see the heel prominence is formed by calcaneus bone, and its long axis is directed forwards. It's forwarded upwards and also laterally. So it is lateral most, and it's roughly cuboidal and has 6 surfaces. So it's cuboidal in shape roughly, but it is having total 6 surfaces. So let us find out what are those. For example, you can see here, this is the anterior surface, this is the posterior surface, this is the dorsal surface, this is the plantar surface, okay, and this is the medial surface, and that opposite side will be the lateral surface. So like this, there are total 6 surfaces, okay. So now let us understand how to determine the side of the calcaneum, whether it's of right side or left side. So first we need to observe the anterior surface, this one. If you see, it's small and it bears actually a concavo-convex articular facet. It bears a facet for the cuboid. You can see in front there is a cuboid bone. So to articulate with it, it forms a calcaneo-cuboid joint, okay. So anteriorly it has a facet, especially for cuboid bone. And the posterior surface, you can see it's very large and it's also rough. And coming to the dorsal or upper surface, dorsal means this one. Dorsal or upper surface bears a large convex articular surface in the middle. And the plantar surface, this is the plantar surface, which is rough and it's also triangular, okay. So now coming to the lateral surface. Lateral means there is medial surface, opposite side. On that side you can imagine the lateral surface is flat, whereas the medial surface is concave from above downwards. Concave from above downwards. So these are all the points of side determination. The main thing by which you can differentiate the right and left side of calcaneus. On the medial side, you will have a sustentacular tali. By that, you can easily find out whether it's of right side or left side. Just place it in an anatomical position and see on medial side always the sustentacular tali should be present. Then we can easily side determination of calcaneus is done, whether it's of right side or left side. So to understand the features of calcaneus, we will move on to the other diagram. So here in this diagram we have different views of calcaneus. You can see this is a superior view, okay, and this is the inferior view, this is the medial view, and this is the lateral view. As I said, on the medial side you will always have the sustentacular tali. So remember that. You can see here it's mentioned sustentacular tali. So if this is present on medial side, then like that you can find out. Actually this is the diagram of right calcaneus. So on medial side, on right side, you will have this sustentaculum tali. So now let us understand the features of calcaneus. So first we will discuss about the anterior surface, okay. Anterior means this side, this is the anterior. Once again, let us see what are the surfaces. For example, this is the anterior surface, this is the posterior surface, this is the medial surface, this is the lateral surface, this is the dorsal surface, and downward will be the plantar surface. So total 6 surfaces. So first, the anterior surface is smaller surface of the bone, and it is mainly covered by concavo-convex sloping articular surface for cuboid. You can see it's mentioned facet for cuboid, this one. So this is the anterior surface. Next, coming to posterior surface, it is divided into 3 areas, that is the upper area, the middle area, and the lower area, okay. The upper area is smooth while the others are rough. Next, coming to the dorsal or superior surface. In this diagram I already said this is the superior surface, or also called as dorsal surface. So this can be in turn divided again into 3 areas, that is the posterior 1/3, which is rough, okay, and the middle 1/3, which is covered by a posterior facet for talus. You can see here it is mentioned this is the posterior facet for talus. Understand that this is a superior view. Superior view means it is having a posterior facet for talus, because upon calcaneus only the talus will articulate, right? So here it has this facet for talus in the middle part of dorsal surface, okay. And next, coming to let us see about this facet. You can see this facet is actually oval, convex, and also oblique. Next, coming to anterior 1/3, it's articular and anterior medial part. So you can see here articular in the anterior medial part. This is medial side, this is lateral side, right? So medial side, it is having some other facets in its anterior part, right? And non-articular in its posterior lateral part. You can see here it's non-articular. So the articular part is in the form of elongated facet, which is present on sustentaculum tali. So medial side, always remember there is sustentaculum tali. And the facet which articulates with the talus may be subdivided into two facets, anterior and middle. So actually, if you see the facets for talus, there are anterior facet for talus, medial facet for talus, and also posterior facet for talus. If you remember, the posterior facet for talus is in the middle part of dorsal surface or superior surface, whereas the anterior and medial facet for talus are present according to the name. Anterior facet is present on anterior side of talus, medial facet for talus is present on medial side. That's it. So this is about our superior view. Okay, now coming to plantar surface. Okay, plantar surface is nothing but inferior view. This is the plantar surface, right? So it is rough, marked by three tubercles, that is the medial, lateral. You can see here the medial lateral tubercles. Okay, medial tubercle, lateral tubercle. So it has medial, lateral, and anterior tubercles. Okay, whereas the medial and lateral tubercles are situated posteriorly, whereas anterior tubercle lies in the anterior part. Okay, next coming to the latter is separated from anterior border by rough and depressed area. The lateral surface. So coming to lateral surface, this one is the lateral surface. It's rough and almost like flat in structure, and it presents in its anterior part a small elevation termed peroneal trochlea. You can see on the anterior side peroneal trochlea or tubercle. Okay, now coming to the medial surface, it is concave, okay, from above downwards, and the concavity is accentuated by presence of shelf-like projection of bone called sustentaculum tali. Okay, and which projects medially from its anterior superior border. The upper surface of this process assists in formation of talocalcaneonavicular joint. Actually here forms the talocalcaneonavicular joint, means talus bone attached to calcaneus and also with the navicular bone, right? So these three bones are joined at the rate of this site, and its lower surface is grooved, and the medial margin is in the form of rough strip which is convex from before forward. So you can see some rough strip like area over here, right? So this is all about the medial surface. Now let us understand the attachments and relations, which is mostly important regarding calcaneus. So if you see the middle rough area of posterior surface, this one posterior surface, it's middle rough area. Okay, it mainly receives the insertion of tendinocalcaneus. Here you can see the middle rough area on posterior side gets insertion. So here green color represents the insertion of tendinocalcaneus and also plantaris here. So on posterior side, mainly on the middle rough area, you see the insertion of tendinocalcaneus according to the name tendinocalcaneus and also plantaris. Okay, next upper area is covered by bursa, and the lower area is covered by dense fibrofatty tissue. Suppose the body weight while standing, and it can be compared to attachment of ligamentum patellae. So actually it is mainly useful for strengthening of this bone and also support the weight of the bone, because it's mainly having a tendinocalcaneus and also plantaris on the posterior surface. Next coming to lateral part of non-articular area on anterior part of dorsal surface, this one lateral part, it mainly provides attachment to, actually it gives origin to extensor digitorum brevis. You can see here this red color indicates origin of extensor digitorum brevis, and also there is attachment to stem of inferior extensor retinaculum. You can see this is attachment, there is nothing but insertion, and also attachment of stem of inferior extensor retinaculum, origin of extensor digitorum brevis, and also attachment of stem of bifurcate ligament. Okay, so remember all these are on lateral surface. Now coming to medial side, there is a narrow part of non-articular area which forms sulcus calcaneae here on the medial side. Okay, it forms a sulcus calcaneae. Actually, there's a sulcus, you can observe it when you articulate the both bones, that is the talus and calcaneus. So in between them there will be a narrow gap that is called sulcus calcaneae and provides attachment to interosseous talocalcaneal ligament over here. Okay, Interosseous. You can see here it's mentioned interosseous talocalcaneus. That is, from the talus to the calcaneus, the ligament will be there. Interosseous means in between the two bones, right? That is in between the talus and the calcaneus. And medially, and also there is cervical ligament which is present laterally. So medially you have this interosseous talocalcaneal ligament, and laterally you have the cervical ligament which is attached in the medial narrow space, that is called as sulcus calcanei. So next move on to the attachments on plantar surface. The plantar surface is nothing but this one. So on the plantar surface there are mainly medial tubercle, right? The medial tubercle gives attachment to origin of abductor hallucis medial. You can see this is the medial tubercle, and here you get origin of abductor hallucis, right, medially, and also attachment to flexor retinaculum medially. Here only somewhere medially there will be attachment of flexor retinaculum. So it's better to see here flexor retinaculum medially, right? Here it's visible. This is the flexor retinaculum. And also there's origin of flexor digitorum brevis on the plantar surface, okay? And also attachment to plantaris aponeurosis. You can see attachment of plantar aponeurosis anteriorly, and lateral tubercle gives origin to adductor digiti minimi. So you can see this one on the lateral side, abductor digiti minimi, it is getting its origin. If you see anteriorly on the plantar surface is attachment of short plantar ligament, and posterior to it in the middle exactly on the plantar surface there is attachment of long plantar ligament, right? So now we'll move on to attachments and relations of lateral surface. So this is a lateral view, right? So the peroneal tubercle lies between the tendons of peroneus brevis, and also peroneus brevis will be above, okay, and the peroneus longus will be below. So in between two peroneus brevis and peroneus longus there will be peroneal tubercle, okay. And the trochlea itself gives attachment to slip from inferior peroneal ligament. This one, peroneal trochlea, will give attachment to inferior peroneal retinaculum, okay. And calcaneofibular ligament is attached 1 centimeter behind back of it to the peroneal trochlea. Next, coming to attachment relations on medial surface. So the groove on lower surface of substantial tali is mainly occupied by tendon of flexor hallucis longus. So just below it there will be attachment of flexor hallucis longus. Next, the medial margin of substantial tali is also related to the tendon of flexor digitorum longus and provides attachment to spring ligament anteriorly. So anteriorly there is attachment of spring ligament, okay, and a slip from the tibialis posterior in the middle, and some of the superficial fibers of deltoid ligament along the whole length. So next, coming to medial talocalcaneal ligament is attached posteriorly. You can see here tendocalcaneus ligament, okay. Next, the medial surface, the medial surface gives origin to fleshy fibers of this medial head of flexor digitorum accessories. You can see the medial head of flexor digitorum accessories on the medial surface of the medial side of a calcaneus. Now all these are attachments and relations, so if you revise them more times it will be easy to remember. Next, coming to ossification, like how this calcaneus is ossifying. It is mainly ossifying from one primary center and only one secondary center. So one primary center appear mainly during 3rd month of intrauterine life, whereas the secondary center appears during 6 to 8 years and to form a scale like epiphysis on posterior surface and fuse with the rest of bones by 14 to 16 years. So very simple to remember, one primary center, one secondary center, finally they fuse at the age of like 14 to 16 years along with the shaft. So this is all about calcaneus. Next we'll start our discussion on navicular bone.